Discover 3 hot yoga secrets to instantly improve your practice. By implementing these 3 secrets, it'll dramatically improve your practice, especially the third one. So watch the video all the way through to the end, because if you're not implementing all 3, it could be the reason why you might be stuck. Secret number 1, understand a beginning, middle, and end. We're gonna change your mindset. If you're doing Bikram or Barkan method hot yoga, especially in the Bikram world where you're doing the same postures every single day. In the Barkan world, it's similar. We do the same postures every day. We have a little bit more variety, but we're still doing the same postures on a daily basis. And when you're doing postures on a daily basis, it's real easy to get stuck. You get stuck in this rut. You're doing the same thing the same way every day. We have to have a breakthrough mental understanding, a bigger picture of what's happening. A beginning, middle, and end for each pose. A beginning, middle, and end for each class. A beginning, middle, and end for each week. A beginning, middle, and end for each year. And a beginning, middle, and end forever.
That's a long time.
And before we continue on, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, hit the notification bell. Any questions or comments, put them down below. I'm happy to get back to you. Okay, beginning, middle, and end for each pose. One of my favorite sayings in the hot yoga world is less in the beginning, more at the end. One of the biggest mistakes beginners make is they go too far too soon. You go too far too soon, you're not able to sustain that level of intensity, and you're gonna have to give up early. You wanna take full advantage of the time. So you start out slow. Let's say we're doing half moon pose. You start out nice and slow. Halfway through, you can start turning on a little more energy. You're about 50% of your energy. As we get to the end of the pose, you can explode toward the end. So let's say there's 5 seconds left. And you know your teacher's timing. And if your yoga teacher is consistent, you'll know their timing. So you know you got 5 seconds left. That's when you start to turn it on. That's when you want to explode through the end. Less in the beginning, more at the end. Beginning, middle, and end for each class. In the beginning of the class, it's the warm-up. And like the beginning of a yoga pose, you take your time. You pace yourself. You want to go 100% all out in the first couple seconds. You're going to be exhausted, especially if it's a really hot room. Take your time and pace yourself. You have that beginning part of the class, which is the warm-up. Then you start to go really strong in your full intensity. And then we have that wind down period. But again, yes, the class is going to be like that no matter if you're thinking about it or not. But if you're thinking about it, if you're mentally understanding how to gauge your own energy levels, what a difference it's going to make. Beginning, middle, and end for each class. Now, beginning, middle, and end for each week. When we're talking about coming with, say, 5 days a week, the first couple of days, you're catching up from the weekend. It's what I call the catch-up phase. The beginning of the week, you're going to be maybe a little bit sore and stiff. Let's see, if you start on a Monday, you might, depending on what you did on the weekend, you might be a little tired, you might be a little stiff. You're going to start warming up. The middle of the week, you start building momentum. You get a little bit stronger, a little more flexible. And by the end of the week, on Thursday and Friday, that's when you can start to turn it on. That's when you're going to peak out.
This feels amazing.
And I was doing yoga 6 times a week, and we were doing multiple classes a day. Thursday and Friday into Saturday were my best days. That's when I was peaking. Monday was my catch-up day. Monday was getting out the kinks from the weekend. When you have this mindset change, it makes a big difference, because now you're understanding how to regulate your own energy. And finally, beginning, middle, and end for a year, or beginning, middle, and end for your entire lifetime. Watch the video I recorded last week on the curve, understanding how your body changes throughout your yoga career. In the beginning, you're going to just continue to soar and have breakthroughs. When you're peaking, you want to take as many videos and pictures as you can to show your grandchildren. When you're coming on the downside of the curve, that's when you start to develop even more awareness, even more mindfulness. And I should have said this in the video I did last week. If I could trade what I could do when I was 32 years old in my peak time for what I know now mentally, I would not trade. What I know now from a mental awareness point of view, to me, far exceeds what I was able to do physically when I was 32, 35 years old. It'd be nice to have both.
It's called having your cake and eating it too.
And that brings us to secret number 2, and that's consistency. You've got to be coming on a regular basis. 4 should be a minimum. And if you're watching this video, I'm assuming you're really determined on improving in your practice. You got to come at least 5 times a week. 4 should be bare minimum. But if you're really interested in improving, 5 times a week is great. 6 is ideal. You're building that momentum. You're building that consistency. I don't like 7. Take 1 day off. If you want to do 7 classes in a week, do a double 1 day. But having that consistency. So let me show you a secret on how you can do that. How can you come on a regular basis? Because at one point, you're laying in your bed. If you have to make the decision every day and you're laying in your bed, let's say you go to morning class and you say, okay, I got to get up and I got to do the awkward pose and I have to do locust pose and I have to get into that hot room. At one point, you're going to talk yourself out of it.
I'll stay in bed.
So my suggestion is this. Make the decision once. You've made the decision. There's no decision. You get up, you brush your teeth, have your very little bit of a breakfast, by the way. Don't have too much. And you're in your car driving, and before you know it, you're in that room and you're doing the breathing, and now it's time to start the class. You've made the decision once. It almost becomes no mind, which is sort of the concept in meditation, to go to the no mind. If you have to make the decision every day, you're going to talk yourself out of it. How can you do yoga on a consistent basis? There's not many people on the planet that have been doing yoga for as long as I have and as consistent as I have. I made the decision once long ago and never made the decision again. Even asked my kids when we go on vacation, I was doing yoga every single day in the room before we'd go off to Disney World. Every single day, you want to make that decision, make that commitment, but you only make the decision once. One of the things that helps you to get out of bed is having that community. You go to the yoga school, there's people that are there on a regular basis, the teachers that are there, the owners of the studio. You have this community. I remember years ago, Bikram used to come to my house once a year. And he would teach for free back in the old days. This was back in 1984 he started coming. And we'd have a party for him. And everyone's saying goodbye at the party, and we're about to leave, and he sees everybody hugging each other, and he says, see this? This is yoga. This is something that's very rare in other types of business, to have this type of community, this type of love. I'm not saying it doesn't exist elsewhere, but definitely in the yoga world, there's a tremendous community that's involved. So take advantage of that community. You're coming to that class every day. You have this family of people. The Barkan world, we have the Barkan family. Embrace that community, because that's really what the word yoga means. Union, connection, family. And by the way, if you don't have a local school that you connect with, that you go to, you can take class with me every single day in the Barkan Method online membership. Click the link below. There's 7 days free trial. You can check it out and see if it's for you. There's close to 700 classes. I've been recording every class that I've taught since the pandemic. We'd love to have you join our family. And secret number 3, and as promised, one of the most important things, but before I even tell you that, actually I lied, it's really 4 secrets. So let's break it down into 2 parts of secret. And the first part of secret number 3 is really understanding your body type. One of the things that happens in the Bikram Barkan world, when we do tight. In fact, one of Bikram's favorite things was contraction, and I say it too, contraction, relaxation. Tight in the pose. By tightening up and getting deep into the inner core spot where the real tension is, when we release afterwards, that's when the real breakthrough takes place. We release when we're standing, when we're standing up, it's called samastitihi. When we're laying down after the pose, it's called shavasana. Bikram pronounces it wrong. He pronounces savasana. FYI. Anyway, but understanding your body type. If you're already strong and your body's already tight and you're trying to get more flexible, you don't want to be thinking tight, because that's going to create more stiffness. It's going to actually inhibit your range of motion. You have to relax more. You have to let go more. You're strong enough. You can stay there and hold it for a long period of time. In order for you to get more flexible, you have to think loose, relaxed. Let the flexibility slowly begin to happen. On the other side of that coin, if you're more flexible than you are strong, then yes, you want to think tight, strong, so you can maintain, build a foundation. My mother was extremely flexible, but she didn't have much strength. So she would have had to work on that latter part. She would have had to work on the strength. My father, on the other hand, was very tight and not very flexible. He would have had to work on relaxing more. So understanding your body type, which then leads us to the most important secret. It's actually secret 4, but we'll call it 3A, and that's this. And I have said it many times on my channel, and I'm proud to continue to repeat it, because sometimes you have to hear it over and over again. Rochelle, let me have a drum roll. And that's this. This is my equation that I created. Find your starting point in every pose without judgment. People judge their own practice. They're very hard on themselves. I wish I could be doing what she's doing. I wish I could be doing what he's doing. Let's say we're doing standing head to knee. This is your starting point. This is what we have. This is what we're going to start with. We're not going to make a judgment. Because if you do make a judgment, the negative judgment ripples into your physiology and actually tightens your position and makes it worse. That doesn't mean that you're going to stay there. You have the awareness that this is your starting point, but you're not going to judge it. This is what is. Now, what's your goal? Your goal isn't the full position. If you're at this level, your goal is the next ½ inch, the next 2 centimeters. That's it. Give yourself a ½ inch goal per day. Within 20 days, you're going to straighten your leg in standing head to knee. Within 20 days, you're going to straighten your leg in the standing bow. If you're going to give yourself 1 inch a day, what is that? 2 centimeters. If that's your goal, the body can now understand it because it's tangible. Your body can say, okay, I can go a ½ inch further. But if you're going to say 10 inches further or 30 centimeters further, that's too much. The body will tighten up at the thought of it. But 1 inch further, or whatever that is in centimeters, that's a tangible goal. Your body can relax, except that mental thought. Because once all these secrets are mental, changing your mental perception, then you're going to improve your practice instantly. I guarantee it. Here's where I'm going to be in January. January 17th, up in Delray, Florida. I say up because I'm below Delray, Florida. Hot Yoga. It's a Saturday from 12 to 3. January 23rd to the 25th, I'm going to be in Albuquerque, New Mexico at Blissful Spirits. It's a 3-day workshop, Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. We'd love to have you join us. So that's our episode for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, hit the notification bell. Any questions or comments, put them down below. I'm happy to get back to you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.